everyone still having fun? I'm still having fun. Ah! I'm really having a good time making these cards. All right, so we are on to day 7, and that door is somewhere right here. Aha, there it is, hiding on me. Oh, it's another ink. Looks like another light one. Oh boy. It's a light yellow, it looks like. Oh goodness. Much like yesterday, I am going to have a hard time making bright yellow Christmas themed, I think, but I will figure something out, I guess. So let's go test it out and see what we've got. Okay, just like with the other ink, first things first, we have to test out the color. And there's one thing that I actually totally forgot to do, or to try anyway. When I got the gray dye ink before, I didn't try and watercolor with it. So that's what I'm gonna try and do here now. I have an acrylic block that I'm gonna press the ink into to get a little bit. And I really was afraid that this one would be dry and super light, but actually it's bright. It's not light. I definitely would call it a bright yellow. It's definitely really juicy. Maybe this one would be good for stamping. Okay, so I decided to go with the whole watercoloring thing and see how that goes. So I have a new piece of Tim Holtz watercolor cardstock. And I'm just gonna tape it down with some micropore tape. Okay, and I have here my favorite masking fluid. This is a Schmincke masking fluid pen. Just gonna give it a little shake. You can probably already guess what I'm drawing. It should be fairly obvious. It's a menorah. I know sometimes you can't see when I have sketches because of the exposure of my camera, but today I actually haven't sketched anything. I want it to look really rough. I feel like that will make a cool effect with what I'm hopefully gonna do with the ink for today. Once it was dry, I decided I didn't like that one arm of the menorah, so I'm just gently scraping it off. You could use an adhesive eraser for this, or your finger. I'm just using my tweezers. And once that's done, I'll just come back in with the masking fluid once again, and I will redraw that arm, and then I'll have to wait for that to dry again. So, moral of the story, try and draw it right the first time. And then you don't have to wait for your masking fluid to dry twice. Okay, looks like it's pretty dry. If I touch it, nothing comes up or sticks to my finger, so I think we're pretty good. So now I'm just gonna take an acrylic block. It'll be off screen so you won't be able to see it, but I'm just gonna take this acrylic block and my yellow ink, my juicy yellow dye ink, and I'm just gonna, look at that, oh, so much ink in this one. It's so much juicier than the other one was. Just gonna give it a couple of taps. And I am going to watercolor using that. I may mix in a few other watercolors. I will put on screen if I use more than what I just said, but it's pretty much the star of the show is going to be the yellow ink. I'm going to use my size 8 silver black velvet. Okay, I think this is dry. Watercoloring tip, if you don't know if your piece is dry or not, if you touch it and it feels cold, it is not dry yet. I am just going to brush off this salt. Now I am gonna do a little bit of splatter because I love splatter in watercolor. I can't not do it. Alright, give that a few minutes to dry, and then we'll come back for some more fun. All my drips are dry, I hope, because if they're not, this next step is gonna be a disaster. I am gonna take this stencil, 6x6 stencil. It is the Mini Burst by Balzer Designs. I have here the ink of the day, as well as some perfect pearls. So what we're gonna do is I am going to open up my ink pad, mush it down, and then swirl on some perfect pearls. No time like the present, wish me luck. Because I may be about to absolutely ruin this picture. Look at that. That is some shine, especially in that middle splotch. But yeah, so next thing we're gonna do is very carefully remove all of this masking fluid and see what we are left with. Okay, now that I have that done, which was a mildly arduous process because I didn't want to rub the surface with my finger because I was afraid of smearing the perfect pearls and then making everything into a shiny mess. But now that I pretty much have all of the masking fluid off, I need to spray this with a fixative so that the perfect pearls don't come off on everything. I have this Winsor & Newton fixative that I use for my woodblock coloring. I am just gonna go do a couple of thin coats of this. I will be right back. So here I am just taking my Derwent Inktense colored pencil. This color is Willow, and I'm just kind of defining some of the edges and making some shadows. Next I'm going to take some of my titanium white Schmincke gouache and I'm going to make a few more splatters because, like I said earlier, I'm a little obsessed with splatters. Alright, now we're gonna let that dry. We'll come back and do some more to it. Okay, back again. I've decided I want to do something with my Winsor & Newton gold ink. I decided to go all out. We're gonna go super shiny. This is my Princeton 18/0 round brush, Velvet Touch round brush. Okay, and our card front is done. You just have to take off the micropore tape and liberate it from my work surface. Now you probably noticed that around the edges of the border there are a few splotches where the watercolor got through. That happens sometimes with micropore tape, especially if you tear it, but I don't mind that consequence because the micropore tape very seldom tears my paper, so I don't mind not having a perfectly pristine edge. It doesn't bother me that much. I really only tape my paper down to help stop it from warping, not so much to get that nice, neat, clean border around the edge. So our card front is done. I suppose now I have to figure out what I'm gonna do for the rest of the card. All right, now I have this set of A7 Shimmer all-in-one cards and envelope from Miss Sparkle & Co. This is, I like the color, but I don't really like the whole weird envelope thing. Because it also has white envelopes in here. This is very weird. Okay, so I have cut that weird envelope flap thingy off of this note card. This is LUXPaper brown cardstock, and I have cut it to 4.5 by 5 3/4 because this Tim Holtz watercolor paper is by default cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, exactly the size of the front of a standard A2 size card. And now I am going to take my square punch and I'm going to make some photo holder corner thingies. Also, quick tip for placement, if you put all of the squares on the actual picture and then put double-sided tape on the corners, then press it down on your little mat, you can always be sure that your picture will be nice and centered and straight and it will fit in the little photo corners. I have an insert piece here that I have cut to very slightly smaller than 5 by 7. Here, we'll zoom in a little bit. You can see a little bit better. And we're going with wishing you a Hanukkah full of beauty and light. I'm going to go line by line with a gold gel pen and write out my sentiment. Alright, and here's the card. I put the artwork on a piece of craft foam just to give it a little dimension. I'm going to add a few of these Park Lane enamel dots, and I think I also may add a few Nouveau drops. Okay, and this is the finished card. I really like how it turned out, actually. It's pretty much exactly how I envisioned, which doesn't happen very often. So on the inside, I went ahead and stamped some stars with that yellow ink, of course. The big stars from this little Miss Sparkle & Co. planner set that I have. And then the 2 little stars are from this lawn fawn set. I just took the outline of the star and the filled-in star and stamped them separately, just sort of at random. I also stamped a matching envelope, just with a Happy Hanukkah from the Lawn Fawn Winter Scripty Sayings, and then a little star tossed down in this corner as well. So yeah, this is the ink that this card was themed after. This little square was way more juicy than the gray square from day, what was it, day 4 or 5? One of those days. This square was way more juicy. It was way better. I wish that the gray one had been like this, because it would have been a lot less of a struggle. And yeah, that's this card done. Let me know what you think. There probably will be a couple of Hanukkah cards in this series, because I do have to send a few of those out this year. But yeah, so this is like a little Hanukkah card with a little attached gift, because you can remove the watercolor painting and do, you know, whatever you want with it. But yeah, so please like and subscribe if you like these card videos, if you like this Hanukkah card, if you like watching watercolor speed paints.
Also, if you are watching this video before January 15th, 2021, please check out my 13 Days of Giftmas giveaway. Every day I normally upload a video during the month of December, which is every Sunday, Wednesday, and Saturday. I will be giving away a little gift package, and each day will be a surprise. It could be anything from sets of alcohol brush markers, to watercolors, to bullet journals, and all the things you need to get started using them for each thing. Check out the introduction video for details, and come back once in a while to see what you can win as the videos are released. And with that, the next card for my Craftstash Advent Calendar is finished. Check back in to see what we're using tomorrow.